Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the War Within and probably what I would call the best mining route. Now, I am going to make other mining routes and gathering routes like this, but I want to particularly talk about this one because of the fact that you can get Aqirite here now. Aqirite is something that you can also get in certain delves, and you'll see it in the Ringing Deeps, and you'll see it in Hellfall. You will absolutely never see it on the Isle of Dorn. The first zone, you'll never see it because of how it's assigned. In mining, you can actually read on each of the different ore that we have, kind of where they're located. Now, I've done quite a bit of testing, and I've farmed quite a bit of materials down here in Aqirite, as well as a bunch of the other zones. And what I've been able to come up with is the best farming route for down here. Now, as for being able to farm Ironclaw and things like, not Ironclaw only, but Bismuth and Ironclaw, then you're going to have to do multiple different things just because of how it's put together in different zones. But we're here to talk about Aqirite because of Aqirite. This will be the best place to get all three ores. So if you care about that, depending on how it all rolls together in the new expansion when the markets kind of figure themselves out, if you want to get all three or at least a lot of Aqirite, you're going to have to do Aqirite. Now, as you can see here on screen, the spots that I've marked with red are all the spots that I've been able to kind of pick up Aqirite. And I've made this route based on that information by itself. So you're not really going to meet many mobs on this route either. So if you're doing gathering to level, or if you're doing gathering for other purposes, this is mostly mobless. But you will have to face some at some points. But after your first level 80, you'll actually get adventure mode, which means all these mobs are going to be scaled to your level anyway, as long as you avoid elite zones, which is why we are actually not even down in this city at all, because there's barely any herbs or barely any ore as well. If you do have herbalism as well, this is great for herbalism as well. This is not only good for mining, but we're here to talk about that specifically. So you're going to start up here. That's kind of the starting line, and you fly down after this. Now, you do obviously see you can take detours a little bit away from the route, but if you follow this route, and the reason why we don't go in the middle here is because you have the Weaver's Lair, which is kind of the renowned hub, and in there, there's not that many ore deposits and herbs, so we're just going to fly around it basically. And this route, by the time that you get back here, which you can see kind of here is the end, you're actually going to get to a point where most of this is respawned. Now, this kind of depends on the amount of competition, but the way that the spawn nodes work are the exact same as Dragonflight, so the more people, the quicker these are going to respawn. But yeah, I mean, that's most of what it is. This route is purely made for the purposes of getting as much Aqirite as possible. So if you're in mining and you want the best mining route for Aqirite, this is going to be the one. I've flown around here for hours trying to see how many different spots there are. They're not actually that rare down here. You'll see Aqirite just as much as Ironclaw and Bismuth, which is, that's amazing. That's great, because in Hellfall and the Ringing Deeps, you'll rarely see it, and as I said earlier in the video, you will never see it in the Isle of Dorn. So you're gonna have to come down here for that. And as I mentioned earlier, I plan on making other routes for some of the other zones, for some of the other materials. For mining, it doesn't really matter because, as you know, as I said, Aqirite only spawns in Aqirite, but when it comes to Ironclaw and Bismuth, you can get that in Hellfall, the Ringing Deeps, and the Isle of Dorn, so you'll never have any issues collecting that. You'll actually just swap some of the spawn points or deposits out with Aqirite in Aqirite. That's a little different for herbalism, but that's for another video. But that's everything that I had. So if you guys have any questions about this particular route, make sure that you drop those down in the comments below. The reason why you're seeing this drawn like this is because the add-ons that are usually good for purposes like this are Gathermate 2 for collecting deposit nodes, and that doesn't work on the beta currently at the time of recording this. And when it comes to routes, I also could not get that to work on the beta, but that's why I'm showing you the picture on the screen up there, so you can make your own, or you can take a screenshot of the screen and get the route for yourself. But yeah, this is the place to get Aqirite if you're needing it, at least at the time of recording this video, if it's not in Delves. But I hope you guys will be using this route a lot, because I certainly will. But that's going to be everything that I had for today. So make sure that you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with all the notifications on, and I'll see you on the next one.